necessary to leave the firing position quickly. There were about 15 shots. That was the mission.
On Ukraine's southern front line, there is a machine hiding under camouflage that does not look like an ordinary artillery system. It looks more like a steel crocodile waiting silently before striking. One moment, the battlefield is calm, and the next moment, a Swedish Archer Howitzer fires a 155mm shell toward Russian positions. Before the enemy fully understands where the shot came from, the crew is already preparing to move, hide, and survive. This is not just artillery. This is Sweden's answer to modern war. The Archer has become one of the most important symbols of how Ukraine is adapting to a battlefield filled with Russian FPV drones, Lancet loitering munitions, surveillance systems, and constant danger from the sky. Ukraine has already received Swedish Archer systems, and with more support coming from Sweden, this is no longer a small donation. It is becoming a serious artillery force that can shape the rhythm of the battlefield. The Swedish Archer is a 155mm self-propelled howitzer mounted on a Volvo 6x6 chassis. It weighs around 30 tons, yet it can move quickly, reaching speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. That speed is not just a technical feature, it is a survival tool. In this war, if an artillery crew fires and stays in one place for too long, it can be found and destroyed. Russian drones are constantly searching for targets, and artillery systems are among the most valuable targets on the battlefield. This is why the Archer is built around the shoot and scoot tactic. It reaches a firing position, receives coordinates, fires quickly, and then leaves before enemy counterfire or drones can lock onto it. In a war where seconds can decide life or death, this speed gives Ukrainian crews a real chance to survive and fight again.
Imagine the scene at night on the southern front. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone is flying above Russian positions, watching the battlefield through a gray night vision feed. Somewhere below, a Russian tank, dugout, or ammunition position is hidden in the darkness. Inside the command post, a commander studies the screen carefully. Coordinates are checked, the target is confirmed, and then an order is sent to one of the Archer crews. The gun may be called Matil Hugo, or another name given in honor of the instructors who trained Ukrainian soldiers. Within moments, the Archer prepares to fire. The crew remains inside the armored cabin while the automated system loads and assembles the shell in charge. Then the vehicle shakes, the cannon roars, and a shell flies toward the Russian position. The enemy may hear the explosion, but by the time they understand the direction of fire, the Archer may already be hidden or ready to move again. What makes the Archer so dangerous is not only its large cannon. Its real power comes from the combination of automation, accuracy, mobility, and protection. Older artillery systems often require soldiers to work outside the vehicle, manually loading shells and exposing themselves to danger. The Archer reduces that risk because much of the firing process is automated and controlled from inside the cabin. This gives the crew better protection and allows them to fire quickly. Accuracy also matters because modern artillery is no longer about random shelling. It is about receiving live coordinates from drones, firing with precision, observing the impact, correcting the aim, and firing again. When drones and artillery work together, even a hidden target can become vulnerable. This is why the Archer fits perfectly into Ukraine's modern battlefield strategy.
However, the Archer is not invincible. No weapon in Ukraine is safe from drones. Russian FPV drones, Lancets, and reconnaissance systems create a constant threat. Every movement can be detected, every road can be watched, and every firing position can become dangerous within minutes. That is why Ukrainian crews often camouflage the Archer carefully instead of driving openly into the field. Sometimes staying hidden is safer than moving too much. Crews also use support vehicles with electronic warfare systems and anti-drone protection to help defend the Archer. This shows how modern artillery no longer works alone. A single Archer needs a full support network: drone operators, commanders, electronic warfare teams, ammunition handlers, and protection units. Together, they turn one artillery system into a complete hunting team. One of the most powerful parts of this story is the human side. Many Ukrainian soldiers were not professional warriors before this war. Some studied medicine, some studied engineering, some studied diplomacy, and some worked in law or public service. One commander, known as jurist, once believed in building a better country through fair courts and justice. But war changed his life. Now, instead of sitting in a courtroom, he watches drone feeds and sends coordinates to artillery crews. This is the tragedy of Ukraine's war. Ordinary people have been forced into extraordinary roles. Students became soldiers, engineers became gunners, doctors became drone operators, and judges became battlefield commanders. Yet they continue fighting, and in their hands, Swedish machines like the Archer become more than weapons. They become symbols of resistance, memory, and survival.
There are battlefield stories that show why the Archer matters so much. Russian forces have tried to break Ukrainian lines with armored pushes, including tanks and other vehicles. In older wars, such a force could create panic and break through defenses. But in Ukraine, the battlefield is different. Drones watch from above, commanders receive live information, and artillery systems like Archer can respond quickly. A Russian vehicle moves, and the order comes, fire. Another target appears, and another Archer fires. A tank gets stuck, and another shell follows. One by one, the momentum of the assault is broken. This is the nightmare for Russian forces, not simply being attacked, but being attacked by something fast, precise, mobile, and difficult to locate. In my opinion, the Archer represents the future of European artillery. It is not perfect, and it is not untouchable. Drones can still find it, barrels can wear out, ammunition is always needed, and maintenance is a constant challenge. But the Archer shows what modern artillery must become. It must be fast, automated, protected, accurate, and connected to drones and digital targeting systems. Russia may still have large numbers of artillery pieces and drones, but Ukraine's advantage comes from intelligence, mobility, adaptation, and smarter weapons. Sweden's role is important because it is not only sending old equipment. Sweden is helping Ukraine build long-term battlefield endurance through artillery systems, ammunition, barrels, training, and continued military support.
So when we look at the Swedish Archer in Ukraine, we should not see only a howitzer. We should see a symbol of how war has changed. The modern battlefield is no longer ruled only by the biggest gun. It is ruled by the side that can see first, shoot fast, move smart, hide well, and survive long enough to fire again. On Ukraine's southern front, under camouflage, under constant drone threat, and under the pressure of Russian attacks, the Archer is doing exactly that. A Swedish machine, a Ukrainian crew, a Russian target, one order, one shot, and then silence. Because by the time the enemy starts searching, the beast may have already disappeared. If you want more deep military analysis like this, subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and share your opinion in the comments. Do you think Sweden's Archer is one of the most effective artillery systems being used in Ukraine right now? This is not only a story about a weapon. This is a story about how a small Nordic country is helping Ukraine rewrite the rules of modern war.